The Baghdad Defense Forces remain on high alert. For these soldiers, the wait is often the hardest part of the battle. As the sirens wailed across Baghdad in 2003, civilians sought shelter from the approaching bombardment.
Shock and awe begins rebuild. Missiles light up the night.
As the jets crossed the Tigris, the synchronized assault began. This was the opening salvo of Operation Iraqi Freedom.
This was the final push. Section 4, the Inferno. The last resistance faced an enemy far greater than they anticipated. The men of the Baghdad Defense Forces knew this sector was critical. As the sun climbed higher, so did the tension.
Shock and awe begins. Missiles light up the night.
From their vantage point on the ridge, the soldiers could only watch as the bombardment reached its horrifying crescendo.
The situation on the ground here in Baghdad is deteriorating rapidly.
We've just experienced another series of blasts right behind the hotel.
Shock and awe begins. Missiles light up the night. U.S. forces advance.
It was the third day of Operation Desert Viper. The convoy rolled southeast, determined to reach their objective.
The command structure began to disintegrate under the sudden assault.
Where is the support? Move the tanks now! I need coordinates!
These elderly stickmen manned the tanks, knowing this critical supply line was the only way through the burning Mile 42. The stars and stripes rise over the newly secured position, a testament to the relentless advance of U.S. forces.
The historical gates, symbols of the regime, faced the relentless advance of the tanks. In a decisive moment,
with the capital secured, the military declared the mission accomplished. It was, for all intents and purposes, a total regime collapse.
The invasion of Iraq reached its crescendo in the spring of 2003, as coalition forces pushed into the capital.
Amidst the debris and shattered glass, every shot counted. A millimeter could mean the difference between life and a swift, silent end. The collapse of the regime's symbol was met with immediate, chaotic celebration across the city square.
Insurgent arsenal found.
In the unforgiving glare of the midday sun, they waited. Silent, still, enduring the heat. The celebrations on the left were mirrored by the mourning on the right. A city divided by emotion, yet united in its public display.
In the wake of the disaster, medical teams mobilized rapidly to provide critical care in Zone C.
The streets of Baghdad were a constant force of tension. American patrols moved cautiously, their eyes fixed on the rooftops. The streets of Baghdad were a constant force of tension. American patrols moved cautiously, their eyes fixed on the rooftops. As the central government collapsed, the capital descended into anarchy. Looters quickly moved in to claim what they could from the ruins.
The Iraqi officers were instructed to lay down their arms and await further instructions.
The streets of Baghdad were a constant force of tension. American patrols moved cautiously, their eyes fixed on the rooftops.
U.S. convoys patrol the streets of Baghdad. 2D male stickmen scanning rooftops.
The cheers filled the air, yet beneath the smiles of the South Asian civilians, a quiet tension began to grow.
The streets of Baghdad were a constant force of tension. American patrols moved cautiously, their eyes fixed on the rooftops. In the chaos of the battlefield, these medics rush to aid their fallen comrades. Every second is critical for a priority casualty. Under the cover of darkness, insurgents rely on improvised explosive devices to disrupt supply lines.
The evacuation began swiftly. For these residents, it was truly the night of the Exodus.
The marking of territory is a serious affair. Once the Eastern Bloc claims the wall, it is swiftly contested by the... It was a devastating blow. The explosion marked a turning point in the conflict, resulting in the first casualties of the deployment.
In the chaos of Sector 4, the 42nd demonstrated unparalleled courage. Under constant fire,
The evacuation of Sector 4 began late Tuesday evening. Thousands fled their homes as the fires approached the city limits.
Control of the sector shifts daily. The red marks the warriors, the blue, the soldiers. This wall is the front line of a silent war. Deep within the abandoned structure, the team uncovered a significant insurgent arsenal, signaling a major breakthrough in the operation. Deep within the abandoned structure, the team uncovered a significant insurgent arsenal, signaling a major breakthrough in the operation.
The capture of Site 404 marked a turning point. On day 32, the long-awaited victory arrived. Inside the hole, Saddam is found, disheveled but defiant.
The soldiers stumbled upon what appeared to be a camouflaged entrance, suggesting a deeper network hidden beneath the dense jungle floor.
The soldiers had stumbled upon something highly unusual, an anomaly immediately flagged as classified by the regional command.
With the site finally secured, the troops raised the colors, signaling a decisive victory in the long conflict. Hidden for centuries, the discovery of this subterranean entrance raised more questions than answers about the true history of the region.
It was a pivotal moment in the campaign. The flag, raised over Hill 405, Sector 7.
As the transition continues, American and Iraqi forces conduct joint patrols, essential training for the new army.
Car bombs strike daily markets. Fear spreads among African-American male civilians.
The generals were divided, the fate of the front line hanging in the balance.
We must hold this position! We stay! No!
The regime is gone, but peace remains distant.
Car bombs strike daily markets. Fear spreads among African-American male civilians.
Car bombs strike daily markets. Fear spreads among light-skinned Caucasian male civilians.
The streets of Baghdad were a constant force of tension. American patrols moved cautiously, their eyes fixed on the rooftops. At 0400 hours, Operation Crescent Sky commenced. 3 birds lifting off from the heart of Baghdad. The day concluded with the critical phase of deployment logistics. Every pack secured, every soldier ready for the inevitable night march.
Car bombs strike daily markets. Fear spreads among light-skinned Caucasian male civilians.
Silence falls on Baghdad game, but new flags rise.
the last U.S. convoy crosses the border into Kuwait. Withdrawal 2011.
In the wake of the army's withdrawal, these militias of South Asian descent swiftly moved to claim the territories.
We carry the memory of dust, the years of fire that shaped us. We all carry the scars from that time.
Here in La Esperanza, Sector 4, the work continued. Day 27 marked significant progress in the effort to rebuild their shattered homes.
Cities, once liberated, fall into darkness again. Looking back at the years of fire and dust, it's hard to forget the chaos we lived through. The helmets mark the spot where they stood. 4,500 U.S. soldiers lost, but never forgotten.
Here in La Esperanza, Sector 4, the work continued. Day 27 marked significant progress in the effort to rebuild their shattered homes.
And here we see the critical error, the fundamental flaw that doomed the entire endeavor from the start. 4,500 U.S. soldiers lost. 4,500 U.S. soldiers lost.
As the cleanup began, the scale of the task was immense. Yet, brick by brick, these communities started to rise again. This timeline clearly illustrates the long chain of systemic mistakes. By the time we reach the 18th century, the world still asks, was it worth it? This timeline clearly illustrates the long chain of systemic mistakes.